All right, we're going to start section 11.6. We're going to continue talking about probability. We're going to hold off a little bit on the combinations and permutations so you get a little bit of a break, but we're going to continue talking about probability. And so we've talked about the probability of a certain event happening. What we're going to talk about now is an event not happening. And so you should be able to figure out the probability of an event happening and add it to the probability of it not happening, and that should always equal a total of 1. Right? So you can do the probability of landing on a heads versus a probability of not landing on a head, so the tails. If you add them together, that should give you your whole amount, right? Does that make sense? Your whole sample space? Okay, so if you want to figure out the probability of something not happening, but maybe you don't know the probability of it not happening, you could figure out the probability of it happening and then subtract it from the whole. Or the other way around. You could figure out the probability of something happening. If you know the probability of it not happening, then you could subtract it from the whole. So you can use the idea of subtracting the whole amount to get the part that you need. Okay? Let's look at a few examples here. Example number 1 says, if you're dealt one card from a standard 52 card deck, find the probability that you are not dealt a queen. It might be easier, though, to figure out the probability of getting a queen and then subtracting it from the whole to figure out the probability of not getting a queen. So what's the probability of getting a queen? Well, how many queens are there out of the total number of cards? I got 4 out of 52. But we don't want to find the probability of getting a queen. We want to find the probability of not getting a queen. So let's take the whole and subtract the 4 out of 52 from it. A whole amount, 1, or if I need a common denominator, I could call it 52 out of 52. Isn't that equivalent to 1 whole? So 52 out of 52 minus 4 out of 52, taking out all of the queens, well, how many do you have left then? Well, 48 out of 52. That means 48 out of 52 are not queens. That gives you a probability of 12 out of 13. We found the probability of getting a queen, and then we subtracted it from the whole so that we could actually find the probability of not getting a queen. Okay? Let's do one more example in this video. It says here that the graph shows the distribution of 191 million car drivers in the U.S. If one driver is randomly selected from the population, find the probability that the person A is not in the age range of 20 to 29, or B is less than 80 years old. So let's use the chart to figure out the different probabilities. So the first one says we want to find the probability of not being 20 to 29. The problem is our chart has a whole bunch of different numbers, and we could do it a couple of different ways. You could add up all the parts that aren't 20 to 29, or you can find the part that is 20 to 29, that's 33 million out of all of the 191 million, and subtract that from the whole. So I'm taking the 33 out of 191, and I'm subtracting it from the whole. That's 191 out of 191. That's one whole minus the group that I have will give me everybody that's not 20 to 29 years old. That's 158 out of 191. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, you found all the people that were in the age group, and then you just subtracted it from the whole amount to get the people that aren't 20 to 29. Let's do the same idea for part B. Maybe you try this one, pause the video, and see if you get the answer. All right, so we want to find the probability of being less than 80 years old. What I did is I found the people that were greater than 80 years old. That was 6 million. And I'm going to take that 6 million out of the 191, and I'm going to subtract it so I can find all the people that are less than versus all the people that are greater than. 191 minus 6, I got 185 out of the whole, the total amount of people, 191 million. So my probability is 185 over 191. So using the idea that we could subtract the part that we don't want from the whole to get the part that we do want. Practice those few for a little bit before moving on to the next video.